Madison like babies. I was like, in like 5 years maybe. Like I have shit to do.
Right. Cool. So let's get to it. This is for people that don't know, Madison Kennedy.
All the people that don't know.
All the people that don't know. And this is, I think, episode 7 now. I don't even know. I've stopped saying episodes. But a part of something I've learned, part of being a small business owner is like supporting other small businesses. So we're actually, we're in the Huga podcast studio recording this one. A little different setup. This is very professional and a bit intimidating.
Right.
But and then secondly, we got coffee from a shop called Cuplux. It's a drive-through. Yeah, it's a drive-through specialty coffee shop, and Ian's the guy that owns it. Shout out Ian. He opened like literally like a week after I opened, so it was almost the exact same time. And he's doing good stuff. This is like a butterbeer espresso soda, which I don't even know what it is. And this is just cold brew, and I didn't know which one Madison would want. But
I didn't give it a taste to you either.
It's okay.
Sorry. It's really good. You don't get one now.
Anyway, Madison is, I suppose...
you read all about me this morning.
Yes.
I want to know,
so I would say...
I should have like streamlined that process so I didn't have you read things I didn't want you to read. I'm just kidding.
I just read the 2 Observer articles, which I can link in the description. But Madison is an Olympic hopeful swimmer.
Yes.
Has made 2 runs at Olympic trials. 3.
Maybe?
Excuse me.
Yeah.
3.
I know the first one. I mean, I was so like, what is happening? So that one shouldn't even count.
What do you mean?
It was in 2008. So
Okay.
it was right when I moved to Cal.
Okay. So 19, 20 years old?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
19. I'm born in 87. Just turned 30.
Cool.
Yes. So yeah, 08. And I didn't even make it back in some things, but it was like eye-opening. It was amazing. Yeah. And then 2012, 2016.
So like...
So 12 years, like, or right, 12 years or so, like trying to get there. Like,
I guess.
Dang.
What is? I mean, talk about competitive athletics. Like, what does that mean to you, and where would you be without it?
Yeah, I guess I don't get asked that question really. Like, where would you be without? Maybe without swimming, but competitive athletics. I mean, it shaped who I was, or who I am, who I was, who I am, who I will, I think, be. People ask me, oh, like you're 30, oh, you just got married, like, are you still thinking about swimming or like going for another run? And it's not like, oh, I'm going for another run to the Olympics and that is like what I'm doing. It's the competition aspect. That's what I enjoy. It's pushing yourself, trying to get the right formula for you in that body at that time. And the competition is cool. It's what pushes yourself with other people. So it's not just so individual, and it just gives you kind of like, I don't know, a sense of not your place in that sport, but how you're able to exist alongside the other great people.
Yeah.
You know, the competition wise. But where would I be without it? Probably doing something else competitive.
Yeah.
No contact sports though, because I don't know. And I keep trying to flip my hair and it's like this cord.
Yeah.
Here it is.
That's
competitive athletics. And you play, I mean.
Yeah, I play golf, but
it's different. It's just like more in the zone for yourself rather than others.
Golf is such a weird sport. It's like I can be feeling great physically. I can hit the ball well and still have a terrible score. And I don't know how that is with swimming, but like
it's the same.
It's the same.
It's
okay,
the
because it seems like swimming is more. And this is I joke that I'm a land mammal. I don't swim.
It's okay. A lot of people are.
Yeah, I don't swim at all. It seems like swimming is more of a just an expression of where you are physically and your conditioning and like strength and all that stuff. I know there's technique.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know that.
Awkwardly take off my jacket.
But I don't know. So talk to me a little bit about that. Do you know on a certain day, like, hey, I'm going to swim well today? Or no?
I mean, I'm pretty feel oriented. I'm a sprinter. I swim in the 50 meter, so like Olympic long course meters, which is what the whole world competes in the summer. I swim 50 meters, so 1 lap or 2, mostly just 1. And so I feel great mostly when I swim. I'm lucky that I don't get broken down. And people would say like, oh, it's because she never trains. But even when I was training, the breaking down factor Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, because I have this like teacher like rasp. I always felt good when I swam, and sometimes I'd be like, oh wow, that was not exactly what I hoped to do at all, but I felt great. But there are some times when you just know you're off. And that's really frustrating because that can happen in between morning and a final session. So it's really mental. As is golf, you have to just be able to be like, you know what, it's not about that right now. Just do what you can.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it's winning. Sometimes it is getting a friggin' third place, and sometimes it's getting seventh, eighth, last, whatever. That's the game though, and the enjoyment comes from like the recipe. Like, did I get it right? Like that's exciting. It would be so boring to just be like, take your mark, go. I win. I think.
Right, and like swimming is tough. What you say about getting the recipe right. Swimming's really tough because you're doing multiple events, and at a swim meet you have multiple heats.
Right. Yeah.
Of like leading up to the finals, and so you might have a race at 8:30 in the morning, another race at 10:30 in the morning, another race at 2, and then finals are at 4 or 6 or whatever. And so you have to like peak at various points throughout the day. I imagine eating becomes important, sleeping becomes important,
Or some
and
kind
then
of rest,
like warm up and cool downs.
Yeah. Which is like my least favorite part is cooling down. I hate it. I would always get yelled at like, Madison, stop talking. Like we need to like move into like warm down phase. And I'm like, oh, I hate it. But I'm lucky now. I swim 2 events. So one on one day or one on the other. I swim once in the morning or once at night.
I had siblings that did swim meets, and it was like, all right, cool. I'm going to go sit here for 6 hours.
6 hours.
And watch
oh my God.
Watch them for 40 seconds.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Like my best race is 24 seconds, like trying to make it 23. So it's like, yeah, I mean, that would take forever. My poor mom. She was like, honey, we're only going to swim the 50 so that we can like get out of here. Thanks, Mom, wherever you are. Seriously, that really helped because I didn't want to stay and sit around. That wasn't fun to me.
Yeah.
Swimming a mile or swimming. I mean, I have so much respect for people that do, but that is not my cup of tea.
Right. And so you grew up, you swam on the boys' team competitively in school.
Yep.
Through high school?
Through high school, yep.
Through high school. Was that because
we didn't have a girls team?
Didn't have a girls team, or just wasn't competitive, or just didn't like?
It was a co-ed team because there wasn't like a girls team. So we swam all the boys and girls swam during like the winter season and all the way through. So yeah, I mean, tiny town, tiny school, Avon High School.
In Connecticut?
In Connecticut,
yeah.
But it was good. I mean, it was a lot of girls and a lot of guys. So I wasn't just the only one.
Okay.
But I was as tall as like, the guys, probably bigger than most of them. Like I didn't like hit my growth spurt early, but I was tall. I had been swimming for forever. Some of these people were like, oh, I'm just starting to swim.
When did you get into, or when did you know swimming was going to be like the thing that Madison does?
I'd say pretty early on.
Early?
Yeah. My mom danced and my dad played hockey, and I have 3 sisters. I'm the oldest, and my mom always is like telling me that story where at 3, I'm like, I want to swim. Where I've met 3-year-olds that's like true. They have a total mind of their own and some attitude, and I can see myself being like that. I don't know how I would have been so definitive on swimming. Like, where did I see that? No one in my family swims. No one likes swimming. It's just me. I don't know. But my mom said gymnastics, dance, and I said swimming. Of course, probably just to be annoying.
Did you do any like team sports, or was it just
played soccer and lacrosse growing up? So I played that almost as much. I mean, I swam a couple days a week, all year round. Yes, but my mom said, "I'm not driving you to swimming every single day. We're gonna cross train, do this like soccer, lacrosse, and it's fun. You learn to be a land person and to have team goals, and you learn how to be on a team, because when you come into college, you're on a team again. And if you're just so individual, that is not going to be a good place for you,
No. Sometimes because golf's a very individual sport.
Right. That is even more difficult, I'd say, to be on a team, like a golf team.
Yes and no. I actually loved being on a team, a golf team, because it was it mattered if you played well or not well,
right,
to more than just yourself,
right.
But I mean, it's not like you could pass the ball to somebody else, but like everybody was relying on
your turn.
Right, everybody was relying on you, and you were relying on everybody
Yeah.
else. So I loved that aspect of it because it made it more meaningful. But like when I was growing up, if we're playing soccer and they didn't have cuts in 4th grade, and like so
everyone
you just
plays.
get
There's like 30 kids.
Joe Schmo running around, and
Right.
I would get really impatient with other kids because it was like, look, just give me the ball. I can do this.
Well, you're also like, when did you start getting into golf?
Well,
young, right?
Like super young. I played everything growing up, and then by the time I was in 7th grade, it was like golf.
Specialized, yeah.
Well, 8th grade. I think I played basketball in 7th grade still, but that was like the beginning of the end.
Yep. Yeah, basketball. I just
Basketball,
can't.
yeah. That was when they started separating us into like varsity and junior varsity, and
You're like, I know where I belong. I'm going. I got it.
it wasn't that. Like I think I thought that I wanted to be. I think I thought I belonged on varsity, but like that was also the time when kids had been playing like select basketball for
right
3
for like
years.
yeah, and you're like,
And
you're on a travel team. You're 6. Like, how did that happen?
Yeah, so I just that was the point where like just being an athletic kid didn't get me far enough.
Fork in the
anymore.
road.
Right.
Here we
it's
go.
Like everybody's had specialized training, and so it was more of a natural thing. I gravitated toward golf.
Toward
anyway,
golf, yeah.
So it was.
Yeah. Same with swim. I mean, I totally feel like that. Like
Yeah.
on par with you with that.
How much are you swimming these days?
Not as much as I have been in the past. Probably like 2 to 4 times a week.
Okay.
Solid is like 3. I got married in October.
Right.
So, and I have swam 2 meets since then, I guess. One in Italy, like right before our honeymoon, and then one in Switzerland last week, or last month. So still doing the times that I was going when I would be like busting my ass.
Right.
So it's not to say, I mean, I could be on like the most extended taper. I'm not saying this is a recipe for my success or anyone else's, but right now it's nice to, it's not that I'm focusing on other things. It is just, I'm seeing how to be smarter in training instead of just going in there and just grinding.
Right.
Not because I'm getting older, because 30 is not even the new 20. It's like the new 16. Like I feel great, I feel the same. Everyone asks, they're like, how's married life? How's being 30? You're like, wait, what? Time out. Like, why is that just like bam, bam, and then next, move out. But yeah, so I just want to know how I can not prioritize, but yeah, train and still have a cool life. I like my life.
Yeah.
I like hanging out. I like going to coffee. I
Right.
like doing things like this. I mean, it's with a lot of training, I just feel like it's very limiting occasionally, especially if I swim 1 lap.
Sure. And that's there's a few things I wanted to get into. One, do you have an estimate of like from the time you got into college to now, like hours in the pool?
Oh God, dang! I wish I.
Or
had,
just college.
Man, I mean, college you swim twice a day. For say Monday, Tuesday, let's say 5 times a week you swim twice a day. And I'm probably forgetting, like my coach somewhere, if she heard it, she'd be like, Madison, like, were you not even there? For 2 hours each time. I mean, in NC2A, what is it, 24 hours of practice?
Technically, but everyone breaks that rule.
Right, so it's 24 hours like in the pool.
Well,
but
it's not that everyone breaks the rule. It's that the way the rule is written, a practice is only considered a practice when there's like a certain number of people and a coach there.
And a coach there, but
like
you're doing
optional, optional means required.
Optional, like be there or like you're
Right.
dead. Gosh, I don't know, probably years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be, right? There's one guy I went to Rutgers for 2 years.
Right.
And then I transferred to Cal. And there was one guy who gave a speech at Rutgers, Tyler, who said, it's been X amount of hours walking this, X amount of miles walking here, X amount of whatever. And I was like, wow, I never even thought about that. And I was a sophomore when I was listening to that speech. So I was
Right.
like, how long have I been swimming?
I think the toughest part for me, and this is from a non-swimmer, it would just be like, because I've seen them waking up at 5 in the morning and going to a pool that's not really that warm.
It's not warm. What is, I mean, I'm sorry if this is inappropriate, but like, guys, it is so cold.
You can say whatever you want.
It's constantly cold. That's probably why I would end up eventually retiring from swimming, is the cold water.
God.
And I don't get up at 5 anymore, by the way. I swim 11 to 1
Right,
at
but
Queens.
at college, yeah.
It's cushy.
In college, you don't have a choice.
Right, exactly. Right.
Like,
yeah.
you got classes and stuff.
Right.
And like, as much as the swim coach wants you to be a swimmer, like
You have classes, yeah.
Hey, I've got to
right.
do the rest of this college
And you'd be
thing.
like, change and go. And like, you're like, how did I just swam so much and then I'm going to class. Yeah, I have mad respect for college athletes.
Yeah.
Even being one. I'm like, you guys, it's a privilege, yes, because you're getting, a lot of opportunity, but it's hard work.
Mm-hmm.
College athletes, like student athletes, that's like a big deal. I think.
Yeah, and it's like, I really valued the college athlete experience.
Yeah.
I
Man, yes.
loved it. It had, you had, a group in, a built-in support group. You got like
Mm-hmm.
all your best friends that you're hanging out with all the time because that's what you do.
Mm-hmm.
And then like it forces you to be really intentional about your time because like even from picking class schedules to like hey, I've got 2 hours. I can go
Yeah.
sit in my room and do nothing, or I can like be productive and go practice, or I can
just work on a skill.
right
Or
like
take
it's-
some concentrated downtime. Because sometimes you don't just get to like, oh, chill. Like, so leading into training talk, I mean, I prioritize. I work at Lulu. I teach a bar class.
Right.
And I train. And so that's always been a point of contention with my coaches. So now that my coach is myself,
Yeah,
there's no more arguing about that.
So you're not working with Swim Mac anymore, and
I'm with
David
Swim Mac.
Marsh, but David Marsh is gone.
Yeah, David is in San Diego. So, I mean, yeah, I'm going to go out and visit him in San Diego. There's a training camp in March. I don't know if I'll make it for that, but yeah, San Diego's an awesome place to be. And I think he's always wanted, or I know he's always wanted to be outside coaching. And he likes San Diego, and his wife is from there.
That's one of my favorite cities.
Yeah,
I've only spent like
it's a cool place.
a week there, and I fell in love with it. So it was.
And I mean, he's been coaching forever, you know, and like now it's an opportunity to just be, you know, doing what he wants to do, especially after like switching it up like from here. But I am still with Swim Mac. I am sponsored by Swim Mac.
Gotcha.
But I swim like by myself. I coach myself, write my own practices. I did that last year too. Debatable whether it was as successful, but that was the goal, is to be. It sounds cliche to say vulnerable, be vulnerable, but.
Autonomous.
Yeah, I mean, I tried it, and I am going to continue trying it. It was, you know, I could just fail like spectacularly, and I didn't fail, but I just didn't do as well maybe as I could have done, but it was as well as I could have done given what I did.
Right. So there's like, you say as well as you could have done, how we don't know anything other than like what happened. True. So.
Yep. But it's that day. So I woke up feeling great, and like, you're just like, oh, well, maybe I just didn't have a good swim. So it's back to that mental side of it is just letting go, being like, you did work, and this is the outcome for today. And you have to be happy with that because it was mine. It was my results.
Yeah.
So that's thrilling. I mean, it's kind of scary, but it's cool.
It's it's interesting. Something I've got written up on my wall right now, because I've been trying to spend more time developing myself. So something I have written up on my wall is everything is my fault. And that's kind of like a nervous but also liberating thing. It's like, one, like, you know, I am not a victim, but like my situation, I can't really like blame anybody.
Yeah, I mean, you're in charge.
Right. But and then at the same time, like, hey, I'm in charge. Like, if I want to go do something, I can take the steps to go make that happen. So it's I can identify with at least being in control, or feeling like you're in control.
Yeah, feeling like it. But no, it's liberating, I guess, to make a shift in terms of, oh, you know, what could I have done differently? It is valuable to have coaches, and I have coaches that are mentors, et cetera. And I've swam for years now, so I have like other coaches that can kind of, you know, be there for, hey, can you watch this, or hey, can you watch that? But it's on my terms. So if I don't feel like I did something well, it's something that I take control over, and it's a little more independent. And I think it's really fulfilling for an individual athlete. I mean, what people get the opportunity to swim long enough with support to be able to be like, I'm not going to do this today, I'm going to do this.
Right.
Like, I'm lucky. There's not a lot of my peers that have been able to do that.
Yeah.
They've retired, or they've been forced out by injury, or just like the cold damn pools, or just like, you know, political crap inside the friggin' governing body.
And I kind of want to get into all that, because like the whole world of the U.S. Olympic sport program is kind of fascinating to me, because like for the most part, sports that are in the Olympics, those athletes aren't really getting paid a lot.
Right. Yeah.
Like, other than people that get sponsorship deals. Like, there's I don't know if you know him or not. I don't even know his name off the top of my head, but there's a guy that comes and works at the coffee shop who's USA track and field, and he's training for the next Olympics.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, they're everywhere, and they're so like covert, and
and you would never know
it's their
it.
journey. I know that sounds.
But like he was telling me, he's like, yeah, I've started 2 companies and sold them in financial technologies, and he's like working on another one, and like
cool. I have not done any of that.
I was like,
I redecorated like my house earlier.
You're training for the Olympics, like,
right?
He's like, yeah, but we don't get like
nothing. No,
I get shoes and jackets and stuff.
Yeah,
and
crazy.
Like,
isn't that crazy?
it is.
And
It's
that's who
wild.
like we tune in and we are like, oh my gosh, you're representing the United States of America in like every sport that we do.
Yeah.
The U.S. I mean, I've never been to the Olympics, so I really can't speak truthfully to anything like
going.
being there. But you know, I have so many friends and teammates that have been, and so I feel like I just have this not glamorized, but I have so much respect for it, but it's not something I know very much about. But I do know that, yeah, the athletes up there, most of them aren't getting paid hardly anything.
No. And
And they're on TV, and their image is being used, and it's just like a whole mess. But
yeah. And so that kind of brings up another point. I was reading the Observer articles, and one of your sayings that you used a couple times was like, the Olympics is like the biggest, coolest swim meet in
yeah,
the world, but
it's a swim meet.
It's a swim meet, right?
Like it's a damn swim meet. Like we can't forget that.
Right.
It just, the perspective gets blown, not even out of proportion, just skewed in such a way that your worth becomes quantified or qualified only by you making the Olympic team.
Right.
Once every 4 years
Right.
off of like a couple swims.
Right.
Mostly one swim, because that's what puts you onto the team.
Right. Which is
What?
it is a little bit bizarre because in your instance, or in your case, for instance, there's 4 years of training, and you swim 2 events which are less than a minute. So you're looking at like, I don't know, 70, 80 seconds in the pool
You're
that
right.
determines
Right.
whether or not you go to this thing.
Yeah,
this
whether
swim
you're worthy.
something like
you know?
that, if that's the way you want to look at it.
But that is, unfortunately, and this, I was talking to Thaden James, who wrote those lovely articles. I was like, I bet you're regretting it now. He is really cool. And he gave me a voice to say, like, I think the Olympics is so cool. I respect every Olympian that I know and have swam against, been beaten by, have been challenged by, etc. But the Olympics does not make your career like a failure or a success. Like, and that is what we are conditioned by our governing bodies, like USOC, so the Olympic Committee, or USA Swimming. Like they condition you to, it's just the Olympics or nothing. And we have a meet every 4 years that you have to qualify for.
Right.
You know, so we have the Olympics every 4 years, you have Worlds, you have short course Worlds, long course, you have Pan American Games, Pan Pacific Games, like there's so many opportunities for you to do your best, and you could break a world record at any of those. But if you don't make an Olympic team, it's like, oh, well, they were really good. They never made the team. Like, what? Can you imagine being like, oh yeah, I have like an American record, I have a world record, but like I never made the Olympic team. And that is like, oh, darn. You know, instead of like, oh well, I didn't make it.
Yeah, that's
The conditioning as a young age is hard to stomach. When I see kids that are just like, oh, I didn't make this time. And you're like, oh my God, that is not the point of this.
right. And that's something you've been intentional of, is like you've chosen to maintain your jobs and your life outside of swimming because it's just a swim meet, right?
Yeah, and not just, I mean, okay, so one of my very good friends, Natalie Coughlin, and so many others, has been my mentor for so long. And so I always looked up to Natalie, and then I got to meet her when I went to Cal, and I was like, oh my God, like I'm gonna break her down. She's gonna be my best friend. And here she is over in the locker, and she's like, this girl just won't stop talking to me. I broke you down, Nat. Anyway, I mean, I have so much respect for her and all her whole life that she's put in and her accomplishments. I mean, if you don't know who she is, everyone like look her up. She's incredible.
Yeah.
She had other things during and after her time in the pool. So to say it's just a swim meet, I don't mean any disrespect by it. What I mean is that you're able to, when you break it down, it is a swim meet. When you get there, it is the same things happen. It's a little more glamour.
It's still 50 meters long.
Right.
Your lane is so wide.
Right.
You've
And
got to
you-
swim.
Right. And you don't die at the end of it if you do good or bad. A gold medal does not improve your self-worth, how you are allowed to like treat people or act. It's an experience that you got to have.
Sure.
And that's cool, but
Yes.
don't forget what it is.
So what would it mean to you looking forward? You make the Olympics 2020. What would that mean?
I mean, that would be really cool.
Yeah.
It would be cool. It would be an honor. However, it's not, I think at this point, and now that I'm saying this it's going to be verbal forever. It's not that it's not a goal anymore. It's just, I would be honored to do it. I do want to make a team. That would be really great. But that is not what is driving my swimming career. It's not like, okay, I have 2 more years. People always ask, oh, you're still swimming for 2 more years? Like, I could swim for 3.5 years and then just be done. Like, the point is not to like close it off at
trials.
At trials or at a
Yeah.
big meet. And I just think that's how my career has always been. I'm like, okay, oh, I didn't make that. Anyway, next, I really like swimming.
That's good.
I get to go to cool countries, meet cool people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I mean,
the
are you
last
kidding
two
me?
meets you just said
Yeah.
was what?
Italy and Switzerland.
Yeah.
Right. I had the best fondue I've ever had. It's probably the only fondue I've ever had because they pale in comparison to what I had there. It's
Yeah.
amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
I got a loaf of bread and like a vat of cheese.
Sounds like
Oh my God.
perfect.
There
night.
wasn't any coffee, but it could have been better.
Uh,
But yeah, is that a fair?
I mean, I
kind of
really wanted
response to
to
hear?
ask about that, like, because your perspective is, I think, a breath of fresh air, especially because last week that CNN interview with Phelps came out.
Oh God, I
and
didn't even see that.
Yeah,
I'm
so
the worst.
doesn't matter.
Like literally the worst. I don't know what's going on at all. And like, there's conference championships right now, and I'm like, who's in the Super Bowl? Like, I don't know anything. So what?
So yeah, CNN released an interview with Michael Phelps, who it's just now public that he's gone through serious periods of depression and contemplated taking his own life
Oh my God, that
after
gives
the
me chills.
2012 Olympics. And
Yeah.
we're talking like the most successful swimmer in history,
Yeah.
following the single greatest Olympic performance ever.
Mm-hmm.
And
Like none of that shocks me. Like I'm like,
the
oh,
fact that like
yeah,
2000
obviously.
like immediately after that, and that's when he got in trouble with some drug stuff, and he said that he was, he would sit in his apartment for 3 days at a time and not like and contemplate
Yeah.
suicide.
Yeah, God. I mean, that's awful. Like, I don't know Michael very well. I mean, he has surprised. Like, he is at the trials that I have been at with. I mean, if I'm back in the like the national team support, like massage
Sure.
or like, I mean, he's always like, hey, how'd you swim? Like, I've never had a poor experience. If people say anything like, oh, he's not the most friendly, it's like, you have no idea.
I
And
have
going
no
to the
experience
CNN
with-
article, anyone that says anything, it's like, you really do have no idea. He's the greatest swimmer of all time. And now this is coming out. It, like, no wonder he's sometimes like, please leave me alone. Like, he's trying to live, like literally live, like the mental, like, I need to just put one foot in front of the other. Now, I don't know how that feels because I am very lucky to have not reached a point in my life where I feel that way. But I also haven't reached the highs that he has. I can't even imagine. So talking about the Olympics, I was talking about this to someone the other day. I read an article that Missy Franklin was just interviewed for. And what she said was there was just so many poignant things that she said, and they were based on how you feel, like depression or
Yeah.
just not the best feeling after the Olympics, because I think athletes are conditioned to, you make this team, and then what's going to happen is it's like you level up in like Mario Kart or like Nintendo, and you're like, all right, now I'm an Olympian, so like everything is going to feel amazing. It's going to look amazing. I'm going to go to practice, and it's going to be like velvety, like amazing. Nothing's going to hurt anymore. And then I'm just always going to feel good.
Yeah.
Because you have a medal or you made the Olympic team. And then people go back to practice. It still sucks sometimes. It's cold as hell.
Yeah.
Like, you're by yourself in your little like astronaut alien bubble swimming over that damn black line, and nothing feels different
Yeah.
except for you got a medal, and now you always, or not a medal only, but made the team, and now you always have to match up to that.
Right. Well, and it's interesting you bring up those, Missy Franklin and Michael Phelps, because
I mean, Missy has such poise for what she has had to
her first
experience.
her first Olympics she was like 17, right?
Yeah, and 4 gold medals,
Phelps
some
was
crazy.
15.
Yeah, they're
And-
amazing people, amazing athletes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they get no support, like no support to deal emotionally and mentally. We don't get it. And it's not like, oh, we don't get it, and I'm bitter about it. It is, because I feel pretty good. I have a good support system, my family, my husband, friends.
But your swim coach is always going to say, "Hey, let's go practice. Let's
And
go
always
train.
has.
Let's go do like." And you're like,
But I need help, and no one knows how to ask for help. And yeah, so I don't know them well enough, either their stories, to like comment further, I would say. But I need to go watch that thing about Michael, because as a teammate, I think it's respect, or read it or whatever.
"Yeah,
to hear
I
him.
read it."
Okay, so it wasn't a.
There might have
video?
been a video, but I
Okay, I'll read
read
it.
the
Yeah.
whatever. But yeah, it was. I saw that come out last week, and I was like, "Oh, this is timely.
Right, exactly. Oh, man.
Yeah. I don't.
Okay, so we were talking about how kind of that contributes to maybe my thoughts now. And I've never made an Olympic team, so I can't say that what I would suffer or if I would suffer at all. But to me, I know that not the sacrifices, but the things being said to me, like, you should do X or you'll never make a team. You should act like X or you won't be good. Like, this needs to happen, and it wasn't like you need to focus or you won't be good. You need to, give it 100% or you won't make the team. It wasn't stuff like that. It was like, you need to just do exactly what I say all the time. You need to live, breathe, eat, sleep, shower this, or you won't be good. And that is so, like, that girl does this and you don't, so therefore you won't be as good. Like, that is so destructive to someone that.
And does that come externally or is that like internally?
Oh,
like,
external. External.
Okay.
Yeah. And if it comes internal, it's because you've heard it external.
Yeah.
Like, kids don't grow up thinking like, I suck, I'm this, I'm that.
Right.
It's an external something that gets just like, oh my God, grooved in you.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I was like, I'm not going to do that anymore. And I'm going to work at Lululemon. Like, it's a nice outlet.
Yeah.
It's not stressful. It is, I get to meet a ton of people. It has only enriched, I think, my swimming. To me, I would never think back and say, what if? Like, what if I hadn't worked? Would I make that team? Like, I got third by the smallest amount possible, I think. Like, who cares? Like, it's all good. It's third in the country of the fastest meet. Like, I'm not going to look back and say, oh, if I hadn't worked at Lululemon, I'd make that team.
Well,
because then I have to think of all of my life up to that time being a regret.
Yeah. And that kind of gets me into something else I wanted to ask is, Olympics or not, what do you want Madison's life? What do you want that to read as? I know that's a crazy question.
That is a deep question,
but
buddy.
Like the first thing that they're going to write about Michael Phelps is like he's, a 27-time Olympic medalist
Amazing.
or whatever. But
yeah.
What do you want that first sentence or the first 10 sentences to be?
What I say for my bio, I'm really sarcastic.
Yeah.
I love coffee. That's really interesting. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a woman of few words, so I don't know what I would say in just like a little like tagline for it. But I guess, and when you get older, and all these athletes tell you that, but usually they're after swimming, or my parents always told me this, or other people were like, you know what, I wish I had done X amount because I realized that what I was doing wasn't worth it. Like, those things weren't worth it to me to not be happy and then to come out the other side and then be like, ugh, actually, I should have just done this. I don't know what I would want my life to look like. I want to be happy. I know that sounds so silly, but I want to do what makes me feel complete.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if that's not getting to swim every day, I love swimming. So if I don't get to swim every day because I made a choice to do other things to enrich another part of my life, then that's what I chose. I want to choose how my life goes. I want to choose who's in it and who influences me and who I get to walk with or who gets to be in it. I don't want to have to struggle internally because someone else is filling me with something that maybe is just what they think or their struggles. Yeah. So it's being really, I think, independent, but being with your little group. I don't know, just making your life the way you want it to be. And you have to take responsibility for what you did or what you do and be willing to just be like, oh, that kind of sucked. Like, I shouldn't have done that. So do that. And it sounds so like not kitschy or corny, but I mean, you're in charge of it. You're in charge of like your journey, like whatever happens.
Absolutely.
So. What would they say?
I don't know.
Like, I want to be on, I mean, I think it's cool to like, if I can make the national team, like, and when you make it, it's like you're the best in your country. And if you don't make it, you're still like cranking toward it, but whatever. But like, wouldn't that be cool to have like a longevity, like a long career?
Yeah.
Of like, for 10 years, you've been able to, and this is like, I haven't been on it for 10 years. That would be a goal. But,
now, are you technically on the national team right now?
I don't think I am on it right now.
I don't know how that works. Is it only the people that go to the Olympics or?
No, that's per year. It's top 6 in your event. Top 4. There's a world ranking, and then there's like in the U.S.
Right.
And so that is decided like at the end of every year. It's like
Okay.
whatever time has gone faster, like the fastest in like whatever event.
Yeah.
So, but to me, it's like, oh, you've been able to stay kind of at this level. You've been able to change and adopt and like grow over this amount of time to stay with the new up and coming people, or to just stay at a level that's competitive nationally and internationally. So if I can keep going to like meets and racing the best, whether that be international or just in the US, I mean, that's cool.
Yeah.
Like that is an accomplishment to me. Like the people that I watch and I think are good, if I am able to also be at that level, whether I dip above or below, it's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's always cool, being able to do what you're doing against the people that are the best.
That are the best.
Yeah.
And I might never, ever win again. I mean, I swam, it's called the World Cup circuit, and I swam against Kate and Bronte Campbell and this girl named Jeanette Addison. So all these like international, like they're so good. And these are not like the only ones, but I remember these meets specifically. I mean, they're the best in this event, in multiple events. I mean, Kate has the world record in the 100. I think she does still. Anyway, they're from Australia. And
what is it with Australians?
they're just like crazy amazing at swimming. Like, what the heck? But they're sisters. Like,
Okay.
what? I'm like, okay, so both of you are going to crush me great. It's just so cool meeting them, swimming
Yeah.
against the people that are the best in my event, and they're cool.
Yeah.
I mean, some people are not cool, and you're like, wow, I really wish that you didn't suck so bad because you're awesome. And that goes for people in the US and internationally, because wouldn't it be nice if just everyone was cool?
Yeah.
That
it
swam
would be.
well?
It would be.
But sometimes you have to remind people that, like, just because you win doesn't make you better.
Yeah.
It just, like, still say good luck and still say thank you when
Yeah.
someone says good job, especially if you're on camera. Oh, my God. Oh, good job. And people are just like, You're like, you're on camera. Just say thanks.
Yeah. That's
Anyway,
funny.
so, I mean, you get to swim against the best in that event.
In the world,
And
yeah.
you're like, oh, cool. Like, they didn't, like, burst into flames or, like, glitter. They just, like, got out.
Right.
Same as you.
Right.
They live the same life as you. They just happen to be amazing. And that's really cool.
Just hypothetically speaking, what do you think it would take for you to be right up there, best of the best? I mean, you are your own
Swimming-wise?
coach.
Yeah, I know. Oh my God. Like, how messed up is that? I'm like, hey, Madison, what should we do today? Oh, God. Kicking, no pulling. I hate pulling.
I don't even know what that means. But,
You just use your arms in the water. So essentially just feels like you're partially drowning. I mean, you don't kick your legs. You just like, anyway. What would it take? I think, so I don't like doing anything like jerky or like for a power event that I'm in. I don't really like doing anything power. I just don't. I like to swim like really chill. I like to go fast, but I like to feel like smooth and
oh, I hope you like to go fast.
yeah, I do. I like to go fast, but I don't like to do like jerky movements. But that is what power is. It's very explosive. It's very 0 to 100 and as quick as you can. And that's not a strength. So that is something that I would have to do more of. And it's even harder to do it when you're making yourself do it. So when I was on Team Elite, it was great. We did like a lot of power stuff. And I think I excelled, not excelled. I improved in my events after doing a lot of that stuff, like with the people that were around me and constantly being competitive. But that is something I'll have to work on my own, which is difficult, but
So
I'm up for it.
Yeah.
Kinda.
What makes you mentally different than people that have gone through college athletics and a competitive career and get burnt out? Because you still enjoy swimming and you're, 6, 7, 8 years removed from college now.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Sorry.
For just rubbing that one in.
But I mean, like,
I'm kidding. 2010, I
I know a
graduated.
lot of people that get out of
Yeah.
college athletics and they're just like, I've spent
F
enough
it.
time.
I'm
Yeah.
done. Yeah. Well, I mean, I am lucky. And I don't mean to be like, I'm lucky this, I'm lucky that. I have great support. I really do. I mean, I met my husband when we were swimming at
Yeah.
Rutgers 2 years.
I'll ask about Eric in a
Okay.
minute. Yeah.
I mean, there was a period we took a break. I mean, but he was always in my life, always being supportive. My family's super supportive. I mean, my mom, I love you. She's crazy. My dad, super like rock solid. My sister's also crazy. Like, we just have a lot of energy in my family, a lot of like loyalty, a lot of I will support you through whatever. And I grew up with that. Someone who was like, you're not going to swim this. My mom would always be like, she's getting out. She's coming out of practice. Whoa, microphone in my face. She wouldn't let me kind of get to a point where I was just emotionally distraught, which some could argue. Maybe that's why I won't ever be great in terms of greatness, if that makes sense. Because I was always, I don't want to do that. Or I don't want to do that, but I'll do this. So why do I have to do this thing if I could also do this just as well? And it's the same thing. So mentally, I'd say I think I'm pretty creative in terms of framing it so that my not mental game, but mental outlook on something is not just like, oh my gosh, I didn't go to practice today. I suck. I'm not going to be able to do well. It's like, I didn't go to practice today. I stood on my feet for 7 hours. I did X amount of classes. I did this.
Right.
Like I was training myself in a different way.
Right.
So it's just, I think, the mental reframing of things.
Not getting your worth wrapped up in swimming.
In like the amount of yards and hours and reps, et cetera.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's important to some extent. But
Why do you say yards? Because you swim in meters.
Sorry. Yeah, I know. Yards
don't
is
say sorry
American.
to me. Like, I don't care.
Sorry, community. Yards is what U.S. swims. So we swim short course yards for college. It's important for NC2As.
Well, I guess, but I don't
and then meters. So we usually practice in a yards pool. Except for Queens does a 33 1/3 meters. So just imagine like trying to figure out times for that. I'm like, what am I supposed to be doing? Someone coming in?
No, something just beeped. It's okay. I'm going to go hit record again, and if it records, then that's cool. If not, then whatever.
The camera is like, we're just going to go ahead and shut her down. She's making no sense. Oh, Eric has that little tripod. Anywho, mentally, I've always had good support, and I'm pretty stubborn, and I know that doesn't make it necessarily a good or a bad quality, but it's how I am. Pretty stubborn, pretty independent. Things just would rub me the wrong way, and instead of being like a brat about it or being sad internally, I'd be like, okay, well, no, I'm not going to do that. So
have you ever taken any long breaks from swimming?
This is it.
This is it?
Yep. So I got married in October. So I had my last race in August. It was in Rome.
Yeah.
In the middle of the summer. I mean, and how about this? So I try so hard to coach myself all year, and it actually was fine. Like I didn't swim epic. But I had like an epic 2015, 2016. So, I mean, I was just chasing that and seeing how that would go. Didn't swim to what I thought the work I put in. Like I thought I did some pretty good work on my own individually leading up to, World Trials in July or August. But anyway, I just didn't have the best race. So I was like, oh gosh, it's annoying. So I went to US Open, did way better. Cool. And then went to this Rome meet, which was a charity meet. Anyway, so it was US, I forget what it was. It was US, Australia, Italy, and then Energy Standard Team. It was in Rome, like amazing, right? I got to fly in, walked around all day, got to see like the Vatican, got to see, oh my gosh, so many crazy things. Like all of Rome, like the Trevi Fountain. I can't even believe that thing is real. Like, and you're walking through with your gelato, and all of a sudden it's like right there, this amazing, huge, like historical, like world-renowned thing. Anyway.
So you got there and were like a tourist for a while.
Yeah.
And then you were like, oh, I got to go swim.
Like literally landed, walked around for 3 hours, went to the team meeting, got on the bus, swam at like 10 p.m., did better than I did all year.
Right.
What is that about? So that just is one more like, you know what, Madison? This is how, like, this should open your eyes.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to be so like, okay, I'll have 2.5 minutes of this and then like 5 calories and then 2.5 reps of this and then sleep for 10 minutes. It's like, ugh, it's so not enjoyable. It's not fulfilling. It's like live your life and then find some way to do what you like to do and do it well.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyway, that Rome meet was like, oh, and then I had my wedding in October. And then for our honeymoon, we went to these 2 meets in Italy that I've been going to for a couple years and swam better there than I have ever swam there. Like, what is that about? So, of course, now I have like a false sense of security. I'm like, I swim once a week and I can go fast. Eric's like, that won't always happen.
Honeymoon every time an important meet comes around.
Right. I'm like, wine, pasta, cheese.
That's right.
Yes. So this is my longest break. So I only swim, instead of swimming every day, I used to swim every day, once a day. I haven't been swimming that much. I've been swimming, like I said, 2 to 4 times.
But you're still like, so that's not a break then. Like you're still swimming.
Yeah, but
number of times a week.
okay, so you know people that do that like run or golf say like you take a break from golf, but you're still like walking around, which is what you do in golf. I feel like the amount of swimming I'm doing is equivalent to the amount of walking someone would do like on a golf course.
Interesting.
It's just like
I haven't played golf in 7.5 months.
Oh, okay.
And like it's
killing you.
I literally have dreams about golf. Right
wow, oh my God. See, I can't imagine.
Ugh.
I couldn't let myself get to that point. And by saying I couldn't let myself, I like would take baths. I would take like showers, like several showers a day, because I'd be like, I can't not be in the water.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Wow.
That'll change, I'm sure, one day when that pool just gets too damn cold. Because why does it have to be so cold?
Don't you swim faster in cold water? Isn't that a thing?
I think that's a load.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what they say. I feel great in warm water. I feel shitty in cold water because you get so tight.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe that's why.
Maybe we should go swim
important.
one time,
No.
and then I will golf, and you'll see like hand-eye coordination is like. Oh my God, I went to Topgolf in Jacksonville after this meet, and I was so pissed off.
Topgolf is interesting because it's a super.
I know
cool
it's not
concept.
golf. I know it's not golf, but like I
Yeah.
can't even hit the ball.
Oh yeah, golf is really frustrating.
Like you know, is it Happy Gilmore or Billy Madison? Who is the one? Adam
Happy
Sandler.
Gilmore?
Is it?
Yeah,
when
where he
he's
like runs up and hits
yeah,
it.
Yeah, and he's like, okay, do the swings, and I can get the swings, and then I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna hit it. Right when I get here, I like step in and like hockey friggin' slash it. I can't help it. It's bad, and I'm like hitting the friggin' like machine that shoots out the balls.
Yeah.
It's like so annoying.
Yeah, it's golf is a very frustrating sport, and I think it's incrementally frustrating. It's like at first you're just trying to hit it, and then you're like, oh, I can hit it. Well, now I need
golf
to
is
hit
cool though.
decent, and then it's
all that technique and it is I think golf, and I have never golfed ever. It is the physical expression of what your brain is thinking and doing and telling yourself to do. And it's not just like brain hit ball. It's how you are like, we're going to get this. You're hitting a tiny ball like a mile away.
Yeah. It's such an obscure concept
you know?
for a sport.
So I think it
like
really
swimming,
is.
At least it's like, hey, we're going to go there and I'm going to swim faster than you.
Right.
And that's like a very straightforward
Right.
concept.
Yeah.
Golf, it's like, hey, we got this thing and you're holding on to something else, and there's a target a few hundred yards that way.
And it's a hole on the ground, and you're going to hit it with a skinny
really
stick.
obscure
Yeah.
concept.
But it's cool because I really do think it is how you are mentally, like your mental space and what control you have. It comes out in golf, I think, like 100%.
That's fair. Yeah.
Because otherwise, like, what is that sport? There's no way you can do that unless your brain is like so tapped in to your body.
I don't really want to get into it.
then let's not.
Eric, though, you guys met at Rutgers. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
05.
05.
Yep.
So you've been together for, you said there was an
There's
off period?
there's like we still knew each other. We're still friends. We just weren't like, yo, like, this is us. Like, it was like, hey, he was at Clemson. So after Rutgers cut their men's program.
Okay.
And all this leads to, I think, how I feel about swimming now mentally. Like, it all adds in. Like, the men's team got cut our sophomore year, and it was a combined team. It was co-ed. So same coaches, same pool space, just the boys were gone. Like, what? So you realize, like, not the importance, but just how there's so many things outside your control that can lead to a good meet, a bad meet, your self-worth, et cetera. So it's just easy to, when you're younger and you figure that stuff out, just throw it all out. Like, throw out the whole, like, oh, this has to be like this or I'm going to be good.
Right.
Like, they cut the whole men's team. Like, what the heck? You just shook up all these athletes' lives for no reason. Budget cuts, like some bullshit like that.
It wasn't like a Title IX thing? Like, oh, we added volleyball, so we got to, like, take away. No,
it was like this athletic director siphoning money into his personal account. There was, like, so much shit going on. I should go back and read about it, because at that point I was just like, what's happening? So Eric went to Clemson. I went to Cal. He's from Orinda originally, but we're both from Connecticut. Like, his family moved to Connecticut when he was about 11. So, but anyway, I moved out to the Bay Area, had my life pretty much changed. I think that's where I loved that experience. That was the most special time probably in my life, was going there. I mean, it was all by myself. My family wasn't there. My boyfriend wasn't there. It was a new team, all women. yeah, so we stayed together, obviously, stayed in contact, but distance was sucky.
Always.
And I'm pretty extroverted. That was going to be another bio. I love coffee and I'm extroverted. Like, can you imagine that horrible combination? Anyway, so he moved back out to California when he was done with school.
Yeah.
So, yeah, been together for a while. But he is, like, he's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's so even-keeled,
Well, I would
mellow.
hope so. I'd hope you like him.
Yeah. Well, you know, when people are, I think, you know, you love your partner, whoever they are, but there are just so many things that I took so for granted, seeing my mom and dad be supportive of each other and loving. I never expected anything less, but seeing that my friends and sometimes, you know, even other parts of my family not having the best relationship with their person, it's like, damn, I'm like pretty lucky.
Yeah.
We moved here for me.
Yeah.
So I could swim. Like we uprooted a sweet life in California, came here. I love Charlotte now, but he kind of was like, okay, yeah, I guess we'll move to Charlotte. What am I going to do?
Well, he's
He never asked that though. He just was like, we're going. Like, you want to go here and this is for your career? Like, we're
hell
going.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And I was like, what are you going to do? He's like, I can do anything. It's true. And now he wasn't even in this field for school. He's an engineer, like engineering major, like math brain, physics brain. He's like, well, the physics. I'm like, honey, he's colorblind. He can't see any of my crazy colorness. We're so opposite.
That's funny.
And now he has a training team.
Right. So he's
Volo.
Volo. And,
Multisport, yep.
Yeah.
Swim, bike, run, triathlon, rowing, gymnastics.
Right. And so
golfers. He has a golfer now.
That's cool. When the article listed him as like a powerlifting coach, and I was like, that's not an accurate.
He does that too, but it's not. No.
Right. Like he does some deadlifting stuff, but he also does way different stuff that you see in the traditional strength conditioning world. Right.
He does a lot of non-traditional movement and flow-based things, so it's more like balance.
Yeah. How do you? How is having him as a coach?
I can't wait till he listens to this.
Yeah.
He'll be like, I wonder what she's gonna say right now.
Okay.
I definitely am very independent, and just holler if we need to. Like, okay.
I think we're good till 3:45. So
well then.
Half hour.
Kidding. I'm pretty opinionated, pretty stubborn. I think something that he likes about me, but also is like, why does it have to be like this all the time? And I like to know why. That's another thing that coaches don't love is questions. And I get that because I teach and I've coached loosely or clinics. And when kids are just like, why? And it's annoying, that is annoying more than that. But if kids want to know why, or adults or young adults, or I'm an adult, like I've been an adult swimming for 7+ or let's say 8-9 years, 21 and on. It's like, if I'm asking you why.
21 adult age?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, 21 is like you're almost out of college. Like
I feel like when you start paying your own cell phone bill.
Well then, in that case, I'm just kidding. Family plans. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, no, when you get out of college and kind of have to like make choices or be on your own for things. And I was never really on my own, but adult-wise, just making decisions. Like, you have to stop letting someone else do something for you just because it's easier or you think they're more qualified. Like, you've entered adult realm. Like, yeah, they're 50 and you should respect them and they can be a mentor and educate you, but you have to start taking, like, control of your own shit, you know? You can't just be like, oh, they're an adult, so they should decide. No, like, what? And that's where I think I fought with a lot of like coaches, because I wanted to know why. Hey, like, you're wanting me to do this. And I'm not saying why with my hand on my hip. It's like, why am I doing this? So that if you're not here or I'm at a meet by myself, I need to know why I'm doing this. Because you know how many athletes go to meets, and I've seen it throughout my time competing internationally, and they don't know what to do. They're like, what do I do? What should I do? I just texted my coach. It's like, you're 25, you're the best in the world, and you don't know how to get yourself warmed up? Or like what to think about? Like, what is the fulfillment in that? Who's actually the Olympian? Who's actually this? It's you, yeah, but like, it takes a piece of the, not the independence, but like just being engaged, because someone is always, oh, you should do this. Oh, you should do this. Not helping you decide why you should do it, just telling you what to do.
Right.
So that being said, I always ask Eric questions like, hey, why this? Hey, why that? And he's like, just because that's what it is.
Well, I think it's good to have like
pushback.
Well, I wasn't going that direction.
It is, but yeah.
somebody with an analytical mind from like an engineering background in the strength realm, because so much of that is just like bro culture. I call it.
It is. It's true. Yeah.
Let's do this because we can do it.
Throw it around.
Yeah.
And that's still in swimming.
Oh, for sure.
Like,
it's it's in every
sport.
Yeah.
It's in everywhere.
Yeah.
It's in everything. But no, Eric is so self-taught mostly for all his. I mean, he's so studious in terms of he wants to know something, so he'll research it
until he knows it.
Yeah, until he knows it.
Yeah.
And you don't need to have a degree in that. A degree from it helps, it does, and it gives you a kickstart. But you know, his perception or his knowledge of things that, I mean, I didn't even know certain things, like just like ground up, like the feet up, the spine up, like extremities, just how flow translates into swimming, maybe more than something weights would be. It's just for him knowing that I didn't like to do things the way everyone else did it. And that's not just because everyone was doing it that way. It's, I did it and I was like, oh, fun. I love friends. I love people, super extroverted. I love them. But at some point you're like, I don't really want to do that. It feels yucky every time I do it. And everyone else is bitching and complaining too. So like, I don't want to do this. So I'm going to do something else. Yeah. And Eric was always like, okay, like, yes, let's do this better. Not the way everyone else is doing it, because you're going to not do it. So, I mean, I am really fortunate. And we do argue about a lot of things in the weight room because I have my opinion. And he's like, no, we're doing this.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he's kept me injury free. He has.
That's
for real. Like
rare, right? Swimming,
yeah, like touch all the wood.
I joke with people because like I was a CrossFit coach for a few years and they're like, oh my God, that's so dangerous. I was like, most dangerous sports in the world, running and swimming.
Yeah.
Everybody gets injured.
Yeah, like
sports.
do this for and that's another thing, like that I go back to. It's like, why do you need to put in the yardage? You've already put in a base. Why do you have to keep just like really wrecking your body? For something your body knows how to do, why don't you just fine tune and like do a little more things outside the pool so that when you come back into the pool, it's like a little more fresh for the nerves. But yeah, no, I'm very lucky. And yeah, but Eric would be supportive no matter what his job was. And like, that's rare, I think. Someone that is like, I'll help you do what you love to do because you love to do this more than I love to do anything else right now. So, and he knows that there's a time limit also on your body. There is, unfortunately. I mean, age is just a number, but there is a time limit that your body has to perform at that level.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, he's like, hey, how do you feel today? Hey, you want to do this today? Hey, we're doing this. Like he pushes me just as much.
Like your training has to reflect that. You can't train like you were 19.
Hell no. Oh my God. No, the crap I used to do at Cal, not the crap. I mean, that stuff was so hard and it got harder. And then it's always been hard. Like training is always hard because you're always testing your body to see what it can do and what the pushback is. But
right. And training's supposed to be hard.
It is. And let me say that just because I swim by myself or don't swim with the team, it doesn't mean that it's not hard. Like I make myself do some shit. I mean, it might not be the same. I might not get to push myself with other people, but it's interesting the place you can get when you're like, you're going to do this. And it's going to suck. Right. And you know it's going to suck and it kind of hurts, but you're making yourself do it. That's amazing, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah. Eric, he's a gem. You should talk to him. He's way more interesting and talks a little slower and doesn't say like 1,000 times. So, yeah, I can hook you up. Let me know.
You guys have been married since October.
Yep.
Right? So that's 4 months, 3 months?
Wait,
4
I
months?
think it's 3. Yeah.
February?
Yeah.
4 months.
Sure.
3 months.
Yes.
Whatever.
Yep. October 16th.
But you've known for a while that was going to happen, so.
Yeah. I mean, we've been engaged for 2 years, but I mean, I wanted to marry him like freshman year.
Yeah. So your life hasn't really changed much recently?
No. I don't think I mean, it's nice to be like, oh, my husband, like, that's cool. Like, I've said I couldn't even say my fiance. I said my boyfriend. You know, I'd be like, my boyfriend. They're like, oh, you have a fiance and a boyfriend? I'm like, no, I just forget to say fiance, like, whatever. No, it's just nice. It's really cool and this is for people that don't ever get married, don't want to there was a period I didn't want to get married. I just wanted to be together forever just as we were. But it's cool no matter what your status is to have someone who's in your life. It's I guess it's hard to describe. My parents were a great reflection of, it wasn't the same as everyone else's life, but my parents were so not devoted, just so supportive of each other.
That's good.
I guess. Like my mom is so vibrant and creative, and my dad is so even keeled and steady. And I just always expected that I would have that, I guess, which is kind of silly because not everyone gets that, but I had it. Like I for sure married up. For real.
That's
I mean,
good.
he's, yeah.
You gotta, I mean, I don't know.
You have to
Like,
appreciate your person.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
more than just like, oh yeah, he's cool, I love him. Like the things he does are for the betterment of my life always.
Yeah.
So that's
And
cool.
And you talked about your mom. You and your mom designed your wedding dress, yeah?
Yep. Oh my God.
Super traditional, like very plain.
Right, yeah. Like, opaque white, just like sleeves and stuff. No, it was see-through. It was like 3 layers of like sheer tulle. It was beautiful, like pink sparkle, and then like 3D. It was 40 degrees or like 43 degrees on like wedding day. It was really nice the whole week. And
You
then
guys
I
were
was
like in the mountains, right?
We were in Connecticut.
Oh, never mind.
Old
Connecticut.
Wethersfield. I mean, it was pretty much the mountains. No, it wasn't. It was at a barn. It was outside, really pretty, beautiful, but freezing. Like so
October in
cold.
Connecticut.
October. But it was nice the whole week. And then it was like bam, like cloudy that day. The pictures were cool.
That's good.
Duncan Littlefield, shout out.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Duncan's from New Canaan.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so
New
Eric-
Canaan, holy cow.
Yeah,
This is coming full
so
circle.
I'm from Avon. Eric is from Orinda to New Canaan.
Yeah.
And then it was Eric, and then a year between him and his younger sister, Kate. And Duncan was in between. I believe he was in that year.
Duncan was the one that told me to come check this place out.
Really?
So he's got an office in Huga at the other spot.
Of course he does.
Yeah.
Like that's so cool. But yeah, he did. He was up there and he took our photos. Sorry, I'm hitting your mic. He was awesome. It was great to have someone that like I knew because I worked with him at Lulu.
Okay.
So that's how I met Duncan.
Everybody knows everybody.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yep. And I mean, I feel like I know a lot of people from Lulu and from Hilliard and from coffee places and from Queens. It's just that is my ideal life. Is this?
That's so cool because like
Like,
that's kind
honestly.
of what this is about.
Yeah.
It's about figuring out what is going to make you the best you.
Yeah.
And for some people that means conquering the mountain and making millions of dollars. And for
Cool.
other people that means doing what they enjoy and working with people that they care about.
Yeah.
And like that's what it is. And that's what I'm trying to capture, and that's like
it's what you're doing.
gets me fired up.
And it's what you're doing right now. Like,
That's what I'm trying
man,
to do.
I mean, I love this. Like,
Yeah.
this is my ideal is go get coffee and talk with someone that I met through coffee. And also I know through other things like, Queens. And I know, who did I meet? How did I meet you? I came to South End Grind and I think I knew you were.
Like, I think I put a story on Instagram with Diana, and you were like, "Oh, you know Diana?" And I was
that's
like,
right.
"Yeah, I totally
yeah.
know Diana." And
And then I'm like, I needed to check out South End Grind. I wanted to because I came off of Clanton and then I'm on Marsh Road. So I'd always drive by and be like, when is that opening? Oh, when is that opening?
Mm-hmm.
And I met Chris and
Mike.
Mike, and they mentioned that they were coaching
Yeah.
at the new urban movement. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, when is that coffee shop open?
Yeah.
It's right on my way home. Yeah, but my ideal life, I mean, I get to swim, which is great. I
Yeah.
teach like people to have control on their body. Like you can do bar moves, you can drop down and do a plank. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm not all about like, pick up your coffee cup and do like 75 like bicep curls or like whatever. I'm not about that. Like go work out, like go do your thing. But take time for yourself. Like that's really cool. I get to be with like women that want to change people's perception of themselves. Then I get to work at Lulu. So, I mean, that's a cool company to work for. People come in and they want to find confidence through their workout or through their clothes or through being in a community of people that are like active and physical. So I get to do that. And then, I mean, I do have a pretty sweet life.
That's awesome.
I don't know what I would change. I really don't. I mean,
that's like, I feel like everybody's always like grass is greener, right? But
right now I don't think I would
that's-
change anything.
that's awesome.
I mean, I want my, like the bushes in front of my house to not be like so crazy, like, but we're in a rental property. So like whatever. And sometimes I get really pissed off when my white shoes are going to get really dirty because I wore them in the rain, but just kidding. I have an ideal life. I really do. I have a sweet life. I don't really know. I would want to go to more swim meets in other parts of the world. Yeah, I don't really know what I would add. Eric's like, remember what we talked about the other day? Like, how about all those things? But it goes back and forth. But there's never been a time when I'm like, I hate my life. I need to make a drastic change. This sucks.
Right.
I mean, when our team switched over, like, it's no longer Team Elite. exclusively here on the East Coast. It's like there's a West Coast and there's an East Coast. That really kind of shook me up in a way. When I left Cal, it shook me up in a way that wasn't devastating, but you find out what is important in your life.
Yeah.
So you can move toward that.
From just knowing you somewhat casually, it seems like you've never really had, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like you've never really had like an identity crisis. Like, well, who am I? It's like you've always been Madison, and you've always been, doing what you want to do.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, a lot of people, they will say, I don't want to be known as the swimmer. That's like a common theme or a common narrative for athletes. Like, I don't want to just be this person.
Yeah.
But why not? We good?
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Like, why not though? Like, I do that every day. I've been doing it for 20, oh my God. Like, say I started when I was 4, like my mom was like, please just put her in the pool so I don't have to talk to her. She's crazy. Like, just I would like Bob only. They were like, we can't really teach her anything. She's not listening. Mom's like, duh, told you, and just leave her. I need an hour of quiet time. I mean, that's 26 years.
Yeah.
I mean, and I do not put in the same amount of yardage that like some people do. And I have not gone to the depths of hell that I'm sure some people have to come out the other side, victorious or not. I haven't been to those places. Maybe I just don't have those places. Maybe hell doesn't exist in my swimming. Like I think I've gone to the bottom of the barrel.
I don't know that it necessarily should though.
And that's it. It's exactly. It shouldn't. Why does it have to be if I love it so much? Like why? And I don't think swimming isn't hard, and I don't think it's the most glamorous thing ever, and I don't think it's the only thing anyone needs to do, but I really like it. And I'm unwilling to make a change. Not that I'm unwilling to make a change. That's not a true statement. I'm willing to make changes, of course, but I'm not willing to change something so drastically that I really enjoy doing just because that's the recipe for other people to be successful.
So, and this kind of leads perfectly into like the series of questions I ask everybody is,
okay, yeah.
What?
Because you have hardly talked. I feel like I'm just like, hey, it's Coffee with Madison.
What, if an 18-year-old Madison calls you up, what advice do you give 18-year-old Madison?
Where was I? I was, oh my gosh, I turned 18 my freshman year. No, I turned 18. I was 17 when I went to college.
You were that kid.
Yeah, I was that kid. Like, so annoying.
I had a teammate who was 17 when he got to school, and we had to get him a fake ID that said he was 18 just so he could like go
do anything.
Just to, just like go out, not even like drink, but just to go places. You had to be an adult to go. That's
funny. Yeah, I mean, I had to have my NC2A paper signed by like my parents. They were like, "We need to fax these real quick." I'm like, "Can't participate till my parents sign off on it." Anyway, what would I tell my 18-year-old self? Man, I am not this overly positive of a person. Like, I'm really sarcastic. I really like to be like cynically dry, but like just like no matter what happens, like you're going to be good. Like literally no matter what. There's going to be like not fun times, but those will lead to good times. And I think maybe I just like had a feeling, or I was so naive that I was just like, oh, like this is a bad time right now. Like whatever, moving on. I would just say like, your life is going to be cool. Yeah. Like, you're going to like it. You're going to like your life. Just like hang on, like hang in there and be yourself. Like don't change. Don't change because you can't grow, but don't change like what your values are. Don't change what is important to you.
Well, and I think that's something that stays constant, or not stays constant, but like,
it does come against challenges, like your morals, like what you believe.
Yeah.
I've been challenged. There's been people that are like, do this so that you can have this, or like they push you mentally to that spot or emotionally where you're like, you're on the cusp and you're like, okay, I could just surrender to this person, like, and what they're saying, because I trust them, I believe them, they want me to be good also. But then you like pull back and you're like, whoa, that is not grounded in wanting me to do well. They want me to listen to them.
So talk about listening to other people. What is the best piece of advice that you've received? If you can sum it up.
Yeah, I don't. I think be yourself, be true to yourself. My dad would always be like, stay the course, Jaws, stay the course. I would always call my parents and be like, I don't think I can do this. Like I'm at a low spot. And he'd be like, it's going to be fine. Like, you're going to go to a swim meet and you're going to swim and it's going to be fine. I'd be like, okay. Enjoy yourself, relax. Like, I think just be myself which sometimes I'm like, I'm annoying. I don't want to be myself. But you have to be respectful. So be respectful of yourself. Don't, if you think you're being annoying, fucking stop being annoying. Just try to be like your best self. Just try to like improve, be an add to wherever you are. Be an add to your job, be an add to your team, be an add to like, the group that you're in. Be an add. Like, don't detract from everyone else's experience just because you are in it.
Right. And we've all met those people. It's like they just suck the energy out of the room.
Yeah. And you're just like so uncomfortable around those people. And that is one thing that, I mean, I have struggled with like a little bit is I like, oh, you're so loud. You're so like talkative. You're so this. You're so like out there. You like command so much, like you're wearing this crazy thing. Your hair is that color. It's like, oh God, like, wow, is that annoying? Like, does that detract from people's like experience? Like, wow, like that really was like, whoa, that's a thing. You're bad for this team. You're like, you coming in late because you have work is bad. It's like, okay, take a step back. Yeah. So take a step back and be like, okay, how do I make it so that I'm not distracting, but I can still get my stuff done? So be respectful. Stay true to yourself, but be respectful. Don't F with anybody else's like, their energy just because you're there. Like add to it. Make someone else like a little bit better.
So if some random 18-year-old found out about you and calls you up and says, hey, Madison, I want to be just like you.
Oh my God.
What do I do? What advice do you give them?
Like literally be yourself. That sounds so corny, but like be yourself. Like, what do you like? Find out what you like and do it. Find people that make you feel good. Be smart. Like think. Even though I'm extroverted, I'm a personality psych major. Like I want to do like something with personality.
That makes sense.
Yeah. People think just because I'm talking, I'm not observing, but I mean, right now I've just been like talking, but I really.
That's what this is about.
Yeah.
It's about you talking.
Any like rapid fire questions?
Not really.
No?
Like the last one, I don't even know if I've asked everybody this, but it's something that I kind of started out. It's like, what are your goals? And then if you wake up tomorrow and you've achieved all your goals, what do you do the next day? You don't have to answer like what are your goals, but just like if you achieve them, what do you then go and do? Do you get back in the pool?
Yeah, and that's the other thing is like of course. I mean, so swimming, I like it's a weird thing because I want to do well. I want to compete. I'm like signing up for these meets. I like am preparing for meets, but I don't think in my foreseeable future, like I wasn't training for anything. I was just in the pool because I liked it. Yeah. And it's not that I thought I had to stay wet for this thing or I had to like keep feel. It's just like I liked it. It made me feel centered, calm. I just enjoy it. What would I do if I reached all my goals? Oh my God. Well, in that case, I'm going to be like in the Olympics. I'm going to have a really cool like concrete house. I'm going to have horses. What else?
Horses and a concrete house. Yeah.
Well, I want a concrete house. I think those are so cool. There's one on Queens Road that I love. And I love horses. I grew up with horses. Like I want to ride with Eric. And I'm going to have like, those are my goals. Like I want a really cool house. I want to be healthy. I want horses. So yeah, if I wake up, like that's gonna be cool. I'm also gonna be like in fashion if I achieve all my goals.
Does Eric know that he's riding horses?
Oh yeah. Oh my God. He's gonna
in
like
his goals or in your goals.
The most annoying thing about Eric is every single thing he does, he's like just like really good at it. He'll be like, oh, and pet the horse, and it'll be like kneeling down to let him like climb on top of him. I'm like, what? It's so annoying. That's all funny. The animals are like, we love you, Eric. I'm like, but I pet you. I love you. If I reached all my goals, that'd be cool, but it means that I didn't make enough goals, I guess.
Interesting.
And now this is someone that has not made an Olympic team. I have not gotten an American record. I haven't even really won that much, but I think I have like some good goals, and I think if you reach your goals, then you need to be constantly making goals.
Yeah, that's common from what the response I've gotten, and that's. And
you had some really cool people. I was like, oh God, I can't believe I'm going to go after that. Like,
no, it's
those people that like are changing the world. But I want to change the little piece of the world that I'm in it. If
Exactly.
someone can be like, hey, I can swim for 5 more years and I don't have to, I can work at Home Depot, I can work at Lululemon, I can work at a coffee shop.
Sure.
Like that'd be amazing and still swim. Like I did it.
And so like that's a couple things come up there. The last guy I had on, Jeremy, he's always putting positive stuff out in the world, and he's like, sometimes I think like I'm being annoying again, but other times it's like if one person sees this and that changes their day or like, their mindset, then then it's worth it. And coffee, right?
Yeah.
Like
The elixir of life.
There are a number of people that come into the shop and like that is their first human interaction of the day. And so like if you give them a shitty experience, that shapes the way they see the world that entire day. So it's like that, like, I don't know, like
that
you can change.
I've never thought of it like that.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
It's
like, really cool.
7:00 in the morning.
You're responsible. Like you're responsible for.
It's more than just a cup of coffee.
Right. Gosh, that's cool. But if everybody took their job like that, like every person was like, I'm responsible for this interaction. I'm responsible for just making this the best. And that's not being annoying and being like, hey, like screaming, how's your day? It's just being like yourself, good person.
Like, I feel like everybody's been there where like they're driving and somebody cuts them off.
And you're like.
And you get upset and like your friend calls, you're like, what?
Right.
But really it's like your friend's like, whoa, chill out.
Yeah, like, oh, sorry, rude.
But it's just like, one experience can shift a whole lot of things. So.
You never know the day people are having.
Right.
Seriously. Yeah. Wow. Like Michael. Oh my gosh. I need to go watch it or read his thing.
Yeah. It was interesting because, you know, he's the face of American Olympics.
Yeah.
And he has, and it's not just because he's been successful, but it's like, you know, every 4 years it's like clockwork. Like you can count on watching Michael Phelps win gold medals, and it's
right. Can you imagine the responsibility?
Yeah.
Like that
wild.
Just got, like all he was doing was like being the best. And all of a sudden it's like so much responsibility.
Right. And like like I've read the training logs and the diet he follows and like it's an insane amount of work just to maintain that caloric intake and expenditure on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Like, let alone being good at swimming, just like being able to eat 12,000 whatever.
Yeah. And by the way,
swimming
like,
so much yardage, right?
Yardage meters. How you are as an athlete doesn't get to make you good or bad as a person. Like, you know, you could be an amazing athlete, but like that's one part about it. Like, but the goal in life is to be like amazing at something, but like bleed it into so that it enhances other parts of your life. Like I think that's a goal, is create success somewhere, but don't let it just be like, I'm an amazing businessman that makes all this money, but you're like a huge a-hole and like everybody hates you, but you make a lot of money. So it's like, how do you make that kind of bleed into your whole life so that the things that you're good at are just enhancements? They're not the only thing you're good at.
Right.
So anyway, yeah, cool. I am honored, honestly, to be on this. Like,
no, it's
so cool.
It's been a lot of fun.
Did no one warn you? Like, I was just gonna be like, hello, is this on? And we go. Here we go.
No, it's been cool because, like, I do feel very grateful that people that I've emailed and they'll be like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm open this day, and I was like,
that's so cool. Yeah.
I was just hoping for a response. So it's it's been a lot of fun.